Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the morning comes and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun. Every argument, every word we can't take back. 'Cause with all that has happened.
Hi guys, how are you today? Just in here today to talk to you about trees. Which side of that? Over here, right? Trees are smart. And that is my topic for today. And I wanted to talk to you about trees. Now, this kind of motivation came from a talk that I listened to just recently. And it was based on, hold on a moment, it was based on a project that was mentioned that was, and I'm going to refer to my notes down here. So it was a project that was made called the Biosphere 2, and it was set up in the mid 1990s. It was actually a project that was designed to see if we could live on Mars. Like they were going to create this biosphere and put everything in it. And it was like 3 acres and it had its own dome and covering, and they put like millions of dollars into it, billions of dollars. Some rich person contributed. And I'm sure if you wanted to find out any information, you can jump onto Google and have a look. Anyway, they put in there about 3,800 species. Like they thought they had everything covered. They had trees growing, they had different atmospheres, they had oxygen levels, they had everything working out. They had animals, reproducing and all these type of things. And anyway, by the mid 1990s, they actually had to end the whole thing and like completely scrap it because of one thing. And that one thing was the trees. And the interesting thing about trees, the trees grew perfectly fine. They were great. They actually grew strong. As a matter of fact, they actually grew faster than normal and innate than they do in nature. But what they found was these trees would grow so strong straight up, and then they would fall over. And they'd really never get a long maturity level and things like that. And they kind of got really curious about these. It was like these trees had the perfect environment. They grew, really strong, really healthy. They had all the right nutrients and everything, and yet they kept falling over. And then they did some research and they realized that what the biosphere had not prepared for was for wind. And now you may ask yourself, what's wind got to do with trees? Let me tell you. Have you ever wondered why trees have those kind of weird branches that kind of move out and stretch and bend? That's actually part of their networking. So when the trees are bent and flexing and moving, they need to get these roots in deeper, and it creates the more pressure they're put onto, the deeper and stronger the roots get. And it also makes the trees have these kind of crooked type of branches. Now, what hard trees got to do with being smart? The thing is that when we use their idea of this in our lives, we realize that our life requires us to have trials and problems in it. It's actually important for us to have things that pressure us and push us in directions that we don't necessarily want to go. So we often get the testing wins that pressure us and put us into situations that we might not necessarily like. So I imagine, that you guys here, right, understand that there's like everyone has got situations where they have been pushed and prodded to do things that they don't. So I want you to kind of think about in your life right now, what are the things that are like wind? Okay. What are the things that keep pushing you in certain ways that create some kind of resistance and bend, but it also makes you supple, and makes you dig in deeper into finding what you can hold on to, and makes you stretch and flex a little bit more. And I thought that we could really use this idea as a concept of discussion for today. So having talked about that, we also know that what else is wonderful about trees is that we get fruit from them. And it's interesting that fruit is actually a way of a tree reproducing, and that it's through their fruits, as the Bible quote says, through their fruits you should know them. But and we've also, I mean, there's so many quotes I can think of, apple never falls far from its tree. Those ideas, right? The concept of what we produce and drop, we end up reproducing and grows within the fertilizer of our own leaves. So if we use those in the metaphoric way to present them as then what we produce and what we drop and what we create, we're actually nurturing our saplings, I guess, in a way. You know, we've got children, or it could be ideas or thoughts or all those type of things. But all those leaves that we're producing and everything that drop, and if we're a deciduous tree, then obviously we're going to drop them each year, and they will become our next year's fertilizer. So trees are smart. They're just like really clever the way that they work. And if we can be like a tree, then we can help nurture ourselves. And that's why I have my logo here, right? Because to me, trees are like a really great example of stamina and stability, yet they bend and flex as well. They're not necessarily rigid and solid. It's the trees that have the deep roots, and we don't necessarily see the roots underneath the ground, but we know they're there, just like my logo shows there. So the last thing I wanted to discuss in regards to that was how we tap into water, because water clearly is one of the main sustenances of our trees. So water and sunlight are the two main things that are needed to be able to grow a really healthy tree. Obviously, good soil too. I mean, you can't grow a tree in rocks, although I've seen some trees grow in some interesting places, but they definitely need water and sun or daylight. So I want you to also think about, what is the thing that is giving you sustenance? Where are you gaining sustenance and water to control and give your tree life? And that may be a source that we tap into. It may be a group of friends. It may be a spiritual sustenance place. It may be you know, like connections with other people or services providers. It might be books. It could be many different things, but tapping into and working out where we're getting our sustenance from, that we can grow stronger and make sure that we are nurturing ourselves. So hopefully this is offering you some kind of water to water your trees at the moment. So I want you to think about that. And also the sun. Are you giving yourself enough chance to be able to see the sun and just being able to bask and accept or grow from its healing rays? Are we allowing ourselves to reach for the sky, or are we constantly kind of blocked out from any light? So, and light has a whole nother concept, and I could probably do a whole nother talk on light as well, and fire, but that's for another time. So I wanted to just come back to that. So I want you to get in touch with your inner tree. I want you to dig deep and look into the root of your issues, and find what it is that gives you sustenance and waters you, so that you can grow stronger and bear the winds, the troubling winds that come and oppress us at times, so that you can stretch your boughs as far as you can, and be the tree that can provide not only sustenance and strength and continuation for you to continue season after season after season, but also to be a provider for others, so that you can either protect others under your limbs, provide bark or wood for fires of warmth, produce fruit, create fertilizer, all those like nutrients and all those type of things. And there are so many things that come from trees and benefits that we have for trees. So I just thought I would come in here and have a little quick chat about that and have a talk, and hopefully you can take something away from that. So these are all my sessions for just practicing. And if you got a chance to watch this far, please, send me a comment below in the link. And if you're interested, I do have a private group that I'm running for 2022 called Paint Your New Tomorrow, which is a project for this year, which I'm going a little bit deeper with issues and things like that too. So I'm hoping to do a bit more in there, and there's already some pre-recordings in there too that you can go in and have a look at and watch. So for all my friends out there and all those people who are watching, thank you, and may love and light guide your way. Bye.
I'm an image of you being with someone else while it's eating me up.